Hi, welcome to the Homeboys Cooking Show. I'm your host, a.k.braxton. If you joined me last week, I cooked up some banging banana pudding. It's really good, so try the recipes and then make some comments. Tell me what you think. It was so good that I sat there on that couch and I ate the whole thing to myself. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm lactose intolerant. It took me probably about a week to air out my house. At any rate, I told you that I was gonna make some countrified collard greens, so that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna start out with 3 bushels of collard greens. I have for you 2 ham hocks. I don't really know where a hock comes from, but I know that to me, this is what makes it taste good. Now, I know some of you black folks, you're all like, hey, I don't eat no smoked pork no more, no, it's bad for you. Well, if you don't like smoked pork, you can always do smoked turkey. That works, I don't want to say just as well, but it works. All right, this is my secret ingredient. I'm gonna tell you what this is later on in the show. Creole seasoning. If you don't want to use Creole seasoning or you don't have any in the house, seasoning salt works just fine. Notice how the label is turned around because what? They ain't paying me. I have some thyme, some chicken bouillon granules. Now, you don't have any granules, you can always use about 4 chicken bouillon cubes. If you don't have the cubes, they also sell the broth already made. Another thing that I like to use is the chicken broth. When you boil your chicken, I like to boil mine before I barbecue it. So all of that stock, save that, put it in the freezer. When you make some greens, use that as part of your broth for your greens. I have some olive oil, some garlic powder, onion powder, some brown sugar, some Worcestershire sauce. This is the less expensive kind. I got it at the less expensive store. Works just as well. I have crushed garlic. You don't want to buy it in the store. You can always crush your own. It works just as well. I already cut up my onions and my bell peppers. I have red and green bell peppers in here. Probably the red just for color, but it all tastes just the same. And we're gonna get started on making some countrified collard greens, that secret recipe that your grandmother took to her grave. All right, let's get started. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my ham hocks in the boiling water. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of onion powder in here as well. Little garlic powder. Little of the chicken bouillon granules. Seasoning salt or Creole seasoning. Thyme. Adding my Worcestershire sauce to the mix. My brown sugar. All right, so I'm gonna let this boil. Get all the granules in the pot. Make sure you don't put your pot the top all the way on. You kind of give it some room to breathe. You don't want any of that water splatting out and burning you. All right, now that we've added our seasoning to the stock, we're gonna let these ham hocks cook down some. While they're cooking, we're gonna cut up our greens. All right, there's no easy way to chop up greens. I just always like to just go down the front part of the bushel first. And then I just go right across. Now I know some of you are saying, he ain't even washed them damn greens. I always like to wash them afterwards, after I've chopped them all up. That way it's easy for my hands to get in between all of the leaves. Make sure that you wash the greens. You know, some people don't wash theirs. They just rely on the supermarket to do it, and then they eat their greens and wind up with a cracked tooth. I put my greens in the sink because I didn't have a strainer big enough to hold all of them. Make sure if you do that, that you wash your sink thoroughly with an antibacterial soap, because there's a lot of germs and bacteria that can be lurking around on the bottom of your sink. Okay, I've checked my stock. I see that my water is low. I never want my water to get below the ham hocks themselves. So I'm gonna add some water to this stock before I start sauteing my onions and my bell peppers in my olive oil. All right, now that my greens are thoroughly washed, I'm gonna check on that stock, and then I'm gonna start sauteing my bell peppers and my onions in some olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna add some olive oil to the pan. Olive oil is really good for you. Make sure the olive oil is on low heat. Because you don't want it to pop up. I'm gonna saute these. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of crushed garlic in here. I'm going to saute this mixture on some low heat. Now you don't have to saute your onions and your bell peppers in virgin olive oil. You could actually add all three ingredients to your stock. However, there's something about caramelized onions that I've always liked since I was a kid. So I'd rather do that first before I put it in the stock. All right, so our onions and bell peppers and our garlic in here, it's all sauteed. I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna leave all this extra virgin olive oil in the pan because all of that is gonna go into my greens. Now I'm adding my bell peppers. I was able to pierce the ham hock with a fork. I'm gonna let this cook for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna add my greens. So now I've started adding my greens to the pot. Don't be alarmed if you think you have more greens than you have, than your pot can hold, because what's gonna happen is these are gonna cook down, and once these cook down, then you can add the rest of yours to the pot. Okay, so the greens are cooked down. About to taste it. See that it needs some more chicken bouillon. A little more garlic powder. Now, I've given you all the ingredients. You're gonna have to season it to taste. And very soon, the secret ingredient, y'all. Put a little more thyme in there. Tad bit more Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Alright, remember I told you how I had a secret ingredient that I was going to add to these greens? Well, this is it. You remember how your grandparents used to fry you some chicken and they would leave all that oil, all with that granules of chicken crust and them seasonings, and they would pour that into that Crisco bucket and they would leave that on the counter? And as a kid, I used to always be like, well, what are they going to do with that? Well, this is what they do with it. They take that and they add that to their greens. So the next time you fry up some chicken, don't throw away that old oil. Save it. Save it. And put it in your greens. That's my secret ingredient. Now I'm going to let these greens, I'm going to let them boil up. I'm going to let them, seep up all of that good flavor. They're going to probably cook about another 30 minutes. And then we're going to have some guaranteed, countrified, grandmama licking greens. Wait, y'all hear that? Grandmamas everywhere, dead and alive, all telling God, let me at them, let me at them. God, hold them back, God, hold them back. I done gave away their secret ingredients like a magician giving up their secrets. But that's what you're going to put inside your greens. Some of that oil that has all of that chicken fat, all them seasoning, all burnt up and mixed up inside. You're going to shake it up and you're going to put that in your greens. Well, there you have it. Countrified collard greens. Countrified collard greens. Alright, so my collard greens, they're simmering in the pot, all them ingredients, they're mixing all together, getting all good. They're gonna be even better tomorrow. Wonder what I'm gonna have them with? Some hot dogs? Nah. Anyway, this is the Homeboys Cooking Show. I'm your host, a.k.braxton. Join me next week when I'm gonna cook up some of the tastiest candy yams you've ever had in your entire life. So come back next week, okay? Thanks for watching. Peace.